Hi everybody, welcome to Kukoon Yoga. My name is Selena and this yoga class is for anybody who's had a baby. So we're gonna start by bringing in a big pillow, and that could just be simply a pillow off of your bed, or if you have a bolster at home, great. Kicking around, you can grab that and bring it in. Also make sure that you have a rolled up blanket or a towel nearby just to help fill space and encourage that tall seat. The block here could simply be a container or a stack of books. Just get creative, you don't have to have the actual yoga props in. So you can see my feet are touching here and my knees are nice and wide, okay? So settle your sit bones back, sitting back onto your heels, and we're gonna adjust this bolster, show you from the side view. We're gonna adjust this bolster or pillow in front of us so that we can encourage our bodies to come down and bring your third eye, the center of your forehead, to just rest here on the bolster. Okay, so encourage the torso, encourage the arms to get heavy. Settling the bum back as much as you can. That rolled up blanket can go underneath your bum if you want to help really fill space. If this isn't feeling good, you can give your hips a little bit of height here as well. Remember, my cues are suggestions, so if something doesn't feel good, please don't do it. Always modify, bringing in props such as blankets or towels as you need, okay? So we're settling in, closing the eyes, finding that big abundant breath through our front and side and back bodies. And we're going to come into a pause breath here. And so you're going to encourage a big, big inhale all the way in fully, and then pause for 2 seconds. And then exhale all that air out completely so there's not an ounce of air left in your lungs. And then pause for another 2 seconds. Inhale, swell, open. At the top of that inhale, pause. And same with the exhale, expend all the air. At the bottom of the exhale, pause, 2 seconds. Just continue with this cycle of breath. Don't worry about counting the breath out. Just try and make it abundant. Try and make it complete. Don't forget the pause at the top and bottom of each cycle, helping us to stay present. And I find really helping to bring this sense of calm and peacefulness inward. You might need it today. With each cycle, feeling that melting through your physical body. With each pause, anchoring there, rooting into this moment, this present, this now. Let's take 3 more big, nourishing, unhurried breaths. And slowly you can start to walk those hands back up, ragdolling into a tall seat. And we're going to spin that pillow or bolster and bring it lengthways down our mat to come and sit hero over top. So essentially you're spreading your bits out over top of the bolster. Can you encourage that nice tall seat by lengthening through your spine and stacking your ears over your shoulders and your shoulders over your hips? So we're going to get right into our connection breath. We do this in every mummy yoga class because, well, most people need a little extra connection between their core and their pelvic floor. So their Mula Bandha is the pelvic floor, the muscles that stop the flow of urination, and the Uddiyana Bandha is your core, is more specifically your transversus abdominis muscle. So it sits right here above your pubic bone, way deep inside, not your six pack. All right, so these two work together as a team, and we want to make sure they're functioning and working together. And in this, we bring in a breath, a pranayama exercise. So it's gonna look like this, a big inhale. As you inhale, you swell, and imagine your belly is like a balloon and you swelling forward, and you're swelling sideways through the ribs, and you're swelling and softening in between the sits bones. Okay, so letting go of any tension in the bits. And then as you exhale, draining the air out, so too then come the pelvic floor muscles up and up and up into this space now. So like you're stopping the flow of urination and passing gas, the anus will come too. Lifting, 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 all the way up to the top. So I'll say at 6, we'll do a 6 count exhale. We'll do a gentle hug or an integration of your core. And so that's where the connection comes in here. Again, inhale, expand, soften, open, release. And then exhale will be to lift, 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 and then hug. Now, when you hug, please do not integrate so much so that you feel your six-pack engage and you feel your belly move in. The hug is an internal sensation, like strings were attached to your hips here, and you're simply cinching that string closed a little bit. Okay, so it's an internal sensation, that hug, like a 10% lower belly lift, okay? So you can bring your hands here to your core area where we're gonna be connecting to. Sit up nice and tall, always making sure you have good alignment when you're doing these exercises. Close your eyes to help focus. We're gonna do 6 count inhale and a 6 count exhale. Start to push all the air out of your lungs now. And start your slow inhale for 6. Swell sideways, swell in between your sits bones, release. 5, 6, and exhale. Now lift. 2, 3, like you're sipping a milkshake up to the top of your vagina. Good. 5, and hug. There's that integration. Belly did not move, just that cinching. Inhale, open, soften, let it all go. Let the milkshake flow. 5, 6, and exhale, lift. 2, 3, kind of like your pelvic floor is going up an elevator. 5, and hug. Inhale, open, swell, soften in between the bits. 5, 6, and exhale, lift. Like you're picking cranberries up one by one, lifting all the way to the top of your vagina. 5, and hug. Your integration, your connection. You feel that? All right, slowly let it all go, let it all go, let it all go. Open your eyes, bringing your hands down, sides of you. Inhale, we're gonna sweep the palms up overhead, palms together to touch. Exhale, gentle twist towards the left. Still sitting up tall. Inhale, come right up through center. And exhale, gentle twist towards the right. Check your alignment, keeping your ears up over your shoulders. Inhale. And exhale. So a flow is simply moving with your breath. And so you can move at my rate, or you can move at your own rate. Tune into when you need to inhale and when you need to exhale, come down. One more to either side. Sometimes that means slowing down your movement. Like I said, we mamas, we're in that go, go, go mentality all the time. It seems it never ends. All the responsibilities and the chores and the to-dos. And so, bringing it down the center. Sometimes we just need to slow down our movements to match the rhythm of our breath. Coming off your bolster now. You can move it out to the side. We don't need it for now. And come up onto all fours. So if your wrists give you trouble, come up onto fists, or you can just make your way down onto forearms as well, okay? Let's move through cat-cow. Showing you from the side view. Inhale, drop your belly towards the ground and take your gaze up towards the sky. Exhale, rounding your spine like an angry cat, pushing up through all 10 fingers. Drop your head, let it be heavy. Inhale, come up, set your shoulder blades on your back, widen your collarbones. And then exhale, round, pushing your heart center up, up, up to the sky. And just keep encouraging this movement, this fluidity through your spine. Good. 2 more full cycles, in and out. Moving with the rate of your breath. Can you slow down your movement? For most of us, we need to slow it down like 30%. There is no rush in this class. Beautiful. When you're done, Come back in through center. And we're gonna take the right leg out to the right. And here, we're just gonna navigate back and forth, shifting, settling the sit bones back and coming forward. So the right heel is in line with the hip, toes facing forward. Beauty. And now walking your hands back up, coming up into kneeling. You can take your hands to your hips for stability. Check yourself to make sure everything's in nice alignment here. Guide your right hand down your leg. Inhale, left arm comes up. Exhale, side stretch. So this is gate pose. We're just opening up the side body. Doesn't matter how deep you come. Let's make sure it's feeling good. Good. Coming back up through center. Taking both hands back down to the mat. Guide your right knee down. Okay, left leg comes out. Same thing. Heel in line with hip, toes facing forward, and just shift back and forth. You're gonna feel a big juicy stretch in through the inner leg. Tuning in. And then walking your hands back, coming up to kneeling. Guide your left hand down your leg, palm facing up so you're not putting too much weight in that leg. And then inhale, right arm comes up. Exhale, side stretch. So feel free to incorporate that pause breath into your practice today. If you're having troubles focusing, if distraction is taking you out of this moment here on your mat, then feel free to bring yourself back using that pause breath. Okay, coming back down to the mat. Give the hips one more swivel and then sweep the feet around and come to sit on your bum. So we're gonna come into bound angle. You can remove the flesh out of the way of your sits bones. And if you have that rolled up blanket, that rolled up blanket or towel, you can bring it in now and just scooch it so that your sit bones are sitting on the front part of the prop. And then what happens is it allows your pelvis to roll forward and create this nice neutral pelvis. So that's what we're trying to encourage here. Optimal alignment with the ears stacked over the shoulders and the shoulders stacked over the hips. Now this is hard to sit in this position because it takes your core, that core muscle, your transversus abdominis, to give you this nice tall seat. And so we're working with that. We're working at strengthening and connecting to our core so that we can more easily sit up in these tall seats. Let's start to roll around now. As you come back, rounding your spine like that angry cat. And then as you come forward, shining your heart up. Two more big sweeps around. And then we'll take it in the opposite direction. Good. Rounding as you go back. Shining up as you come forward. Lovely. One more cycle around. Come to sit up in your tall seat when you're done. Give those knees a little flap if they need it. I'm gonna take the legs wide now, so not at your maximum. No, bring it in a bit. And just give the knees a little flop and make sure that this is comfortable here to sit in. Still sitting up on your prop to help encourage that tall seat. And then check your alignment. Have you lost sight of that stacking? That neutral pelvis. Imagine if it was filled with tea, you're not spilling out the back at all. That bowl is nice and tall. And then flex your toes. So imagine your pinkies, a string, drawing your pinkies towards your ears. All right, we are going to tent the fingers behind us now to help encourage that heart lift, squeezing the shoulder blades to the spine, and then pushing the fingers into the floor, start to come forward, moving with the pelvis forward first. So imagine I'm drawing your belly forward with the string, pulling it, and then the torso, the shoulders, that follows. So here we're still creating this nice tall spine that we had when we were sitting up. We haven't lost that alignment. We haven't rounded into the spine. And that sometimes that might mean that you've just come forward like a millimeter. That's okay. come forward to when you start to feel your back start to round, and use your breath, use the little micro movements to settle a little deeper. Keep that integration with your fingers in the floor to help roll and encourage you to come deeper and deeper. Yes, slowly rise up, and you can bring those feet together. So bringing the right leg underneath the left into Sukhasana. So this is easy pose, okay? Bring your arms out parallel in front of you. So I'm gonna show you from the side view here. Bringing your arms out parallel. We're gonna take the right elbow over top of the left elbow, keeping them high up above your chest, and then wind, wind, wind for eagle arms. So you can bring palm to palm, back of the hand. You can clasp your fingers if that feels good. Whatever feels good for you here. Sitting up in easy pose in Sukhasana. Lift your fingertips up towards the sky, and you're gonna feel a big juicy stretch across your upper back, your shoulder blades here. So if you have young ones at home and you're doing a lot of carrying of children, this rounding tends to happen, and so stretching through the back there can feel really good. We're gonna do a little counter stretch after here. One more breath, inhale deep, and exhale, unwinding. Clasp your fingers behind you, kind of like you're holding your own hand. Inhale, lift your heart, extend your arms, open up your chest, widen your collarbones, gazing up. Nice strong arms, good. One more breath. And slowly, slowly release. Cool. Let's do the opposite side. So let's scoop the left leg underneath the right this time into Sukhasana. So like crisscross applesauce. Sitting up nice and tall. Bring your arms out parallel to the floor. We're gonna cross left over now at the elbow, left arm over at the elbow. Wind, wind, wind. Coming into your version of eagle arms. Breathing strong cycles of breath here. Lifting your fingers up towards the sky. Really feeling that expansiveness across your shoulder blades. Slowly starting to unwind. Interlace your fingers behind your back, holding your own hand. Inhale, find that counter stretch, lifting your heart up to the sky. Saddle your shoulder blades, setting them onto your back. Good. And gently release. Awesome. Remove any props that are on your mat. You can remove them to the side for now. We're going to swivel around and squat our way up to stand. So planting both feet on the ground, lift the bum up first, and ragdoll up. A ragdoll means you have soft knees, means the arms are heavy and the head is heavy as well. Come all the way up to standing and come up to the top of your mat. So alignment is crucial after you've had a baby, whether that's 6 weeks or 6 years ago. If you've never thought about your alignment, this is really important to think about now. So stacking ears over shoulders, okay? Shoulders over hips, hips over heels. Got it? All 4 corners of your feet rooting into the ground, all 4 corners. So you're not just sitting in your heels. A lot of mamas, especially if they're more recently postpartum, compensating for big belly out front, will sit in their heels and thrust their hips forward. And then you create this grandpa bum effect, which we want to try to avoid, because then the shoulders round in, and then after you have baby, you're doing a lot of carrying out front, and it's just exacerbating this bad alignment. So when we don't have good alignment, our pelvic floor and our core, they can't function properly. So we continue to have things like incontinence, and you don't want to continue to have to cross your legs every time you sneeze, right? So alignment is key. Thinking about this now, not just in class, but when you're standing in lineups, when you're walking, when you're cooking, when you get up off of your seat, planting, rooting, finding those strong mountain legs, stacking. And then my most favorite cue, blossoming. Blossom your bum. So don't tuck your tail under. Blossom your bum and try and feel the pant creases here. Try and get the creases out of your pants as much as possible. As you blossom, still rooting up through the crown of your head. And I'm gonna show you from the side here. You're at the top of your mat, showing you from the side here, okay? Awesome. Okay, one big giant breath in, big out breath, open your mouth out. Good. Inhale, sweep your arms up to the height of your ears, and exhale, settle back into a chair. So we're settling back into chair. Remember that blossom your bum cue. Remember that integrating all four corners of your feet into the floor cue. So do that now. And then we're gonna raise the one heel up and lower it down. Alternate, raise the opposite heel up, lower it down. Keep your bum low, like you're sitting in that chair. Lift your heart up high, activating your core. Good. And lower it down. Okay, taking your hands to your hips, still sitting nice and low. We're gonna shoot the right leg back behind us. Check to make sure that you are on train tracks, not on a tightrope. Otherwise, this next move is gonna be very challenging. And see if you can come up high on your back foot, on your toe mound. Now, if that doesn't feel good, you just come into the warrior one lunge, settling your back heel down, angling your back toe towards the front of your mat, no problem. Okay, check that your front knee is stacked right over top of the front heel, that it's not coming over the toes at all. So we're protecting the joints, hands are still on your hips. Now we're in crescent lunge here. I wanna make sure that that back leg is strong. So imagine I'm pulling a string up towards the sky. Good, breathing. And then the most important cue here, hug. Remember, hug your legs towards the center line, activates your core, your transversus abdominis, not your six pack. We don't need strong six packs. We do need a strong core though. That is our mummy strong, that is our mummy center. So by activating the legs, charging them up as if a magnet is drawing them together, we help to activate the core. Beautiful. All right, one more big breath. Back leg strong. All right, we're gonna pivot towards the side of the mat now. Side of your mat, plie your toes out to the outer corners, and then just put a gentle bend, side stretch in. This ninja lunge. Maybe you can put a gentle rotation in your body as well. Good. Maybe coming a little deeper, feeling that inner thigh charge. So always remembering in any posture, shape, or any class you're doing, anytime you drop your head below your pelvis, so you drop your head, leaves the opportunity for air to escape up into your vagina. Yes, it's possible. And after having babies, it becomes even more possible. So we want to think about protecting that area anytime we drop our head by engaging our pelvic floor like we did at the beginning of class, but only like 10-20%. You don't need to grip it, but just protect it. All right, so we're gonna come there now, coming back through center, straighten both legs. Take your feet and make them parallel to one another so they're on train tracks. All right, arms by your sides. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Blossom your bum behind you. Now, if you can't reach for the mat, you can pull in your prop to help extend your reach, or simply widen your feet, widen your stance. Okay, so reaching for the mat or your prop, let your head hang. This is a forward fold, so take your nose from side to side. Let there be no tension in your neck. By allowing your head to really hang here, you're allowing that traction, that opening up of the spine. Feels really good. Did you check in with the bits? Can you lift them 10%? Because at any point here, air can go back up there. And then guess what? The air has to come out. So lucky for you, you're at home. This is just something that we want to be mindful of. Connecting down there. Beautiful. Okay, we're gonna slowly walk our way up with nice soft knees. So a little micro bend in the knees, walking yourself back up. Take your hands to your hips, pivot front foot forward, and hop that back foot up to meet it. Shake, 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 shake. Okay, opposite side, I'm gonna show you from the side view. Come up to the top of your mat and find your mountain. So checking in, are you thrusting? Are you rounding? Finding that optimal alignment, like a string is pulling you up from the crown of your head. You can even take your hands to your pelvis, so your fingers to the front of your hips, thumb to the back of your hips and pelvis here, and just adjust and just notice if your pelvic bowl here was filled with tea or wine or whatever. Is it spilling out the back or is it spilling out the front? Can you level it off, creating that neutral spine by blossoming your bum, rooting all four corners down? So much in mountain pose, I know. It's one of the most important poses in these postnatal classes though. Okay, big out breath. Inhale deep, exhale, let it all out. And inhale for chair. Arms come up to the height of the shoulders, settle back with your sits bones like you're sitting in a chair. Lift your heart, check your integration, all four corners of your feet. Good, keep breathing, that fire swelling up through your foundation, that's okay. Lifting your heart helps to activate your core. Keep blossoming your bum, and we're gonna raise one heel up, stay low, and lower it down. Opposite heel up, and lower it down. Do it again. Your muscles, they need your oxygen, so feed it. Beautiful, stay low, take your hands to your hips. We're gonna take that giant lunge back with the left leg, feet on train tracks. Flip up that back heel, or of course, as always, lower it down if you want to come into the warrior one lunge. Choose what you want today. Okay, so from the crescent lunge with the heel up, our foundation is a little less stable here. So what do we need to do? All I need to do is do that, right? Now you know, magnetize your leg bones towards one another, creating that connection here in your mommy strong center. Make sure the back leg is strong, drawing it up towards the sky. Keep your hands on your hips for balance. Breathe long, strong cycles of breath. Don't lose sight of that connection between your legs. That's the most important cue anytime you split your legs in a posture, in a pose. Whether that's standing or down on the mat, down on hands and knees. Anytime you split your legs, integrate, hug, connect, magnetize those bones together. And there you'll start to build a strong core, that mommy strong center. Awesome. All right, from here, lowering that back heel down and starting to shift to face the side of your mat. Plie your toes out and come into that ninja side stretch lunge. You want to throw a little twist into it, you can. Keep your bum low as you shift from side to side. Good. Come back to that pause breath. If you've lost sight of the present moment, if distractions really entering into your space. Closing your eyes can help as well. One more cycle. Awesome. Coming back up through center, standing, straightening the legs, and then bringing the feet, navigating them parallel to one another. Arms by your side. Inhale, sweep. Remember the lift of the bits as you exhale, swan dive forward. Gentle lift, 10-20%. Let your head hang, reaching for the floor. You can widen your feet if you need to help encourage that extension towards the floor. Take your nose from side to side. Let there be no tension in your neck. Out breaths where you extend your exhale longer than the inhale. Help encourage that parasympathetic nervous system response. And that parasympathetic nervous system is responsible for your rest and digest state, helping to bring and encourage that state of peace and calm inward. All right, with soft knees, little micro bend in the knees joint. Walk your hands up and up and up, all the way to standing. Take your hands to your hips, pivot your front foot forward, and hop that back foot up. Give her a little shake, 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 and come to the back of your mat. Okay, at the back of your mat, genie squat your way down, reaching for the floor when you're ready, and sweep your feet around. Okay, coming into staff pose to start. Settle each sit bone equally into the ground, making sure you're not sitting on your tailbone, so therefore rounding your spine. So rather lift up your tailbone, lift up your sacrum, sitting high up with your sits bones. Okay, so we're gonna practice this, and this is hard. It may look easy, but it's very hard. Okay, so if you don't feel like you got it today, no problem. Keep working at it. So here we're sitting up in this optimal alignment, right? Where our ears are stacked over our shoulders are stacked over our hips, rather than this rounding kind of angry cat back. Sitting up nice and tall, I want you to take your hands to your lower belly, where your core would be, so right above your pubic bone. And in order to sit up tall, our core, our transversus, is activated. That's what's giving us this tall seat. Great. We want to keep that activated and put 3 big breaths into the belly, into the six-pack area. Good. So now shift your hands up into the six-pack area of your belly, and put 3 big expansive breaths there. So as you inhale, still sitting up tall, activating your core, but you're gonna inhale and feel your belly expand. And then exhale, feel it recede. So you're disconnecting the 2 tummy muscles. Generally, the six-pack area is stronger and will want to take over. Keep going, keep breathing. And so here we're attempting to turn off the six-pack and rather connect to our core, the weaker, for most of us, the weaker muscle, because that's the one that's going to make us feel strong. Good, 1 more cycle. And if you're not feeling like you can access it, don't worry, it's hard. It's not easy to disconnect the 2. We're training though, we're being patient. Good, awesome. All right. We're gonna make our way down to our Shavasana. So if you want to get comfortable on your props, you can pull them in now. You can use this as a pillow. You can use this as a prop to come down with maybe a little side body twist. This is my favorite version of Shavasana, bringing my hip right up to the bottom, bringing this pillow up on a bit of an incline perhaps. And you can use your couch or a wall if you have it at home. And then just bringing both hands to either side and then resting down, down, down. You can rotate your head to whichever direction you want. Fill in space here once again. How does that feel? Oh, it feels really good. Okay, I'm gonna stay seated, but there's no wrong way to do Shavasana. You can even stay seated if you want to. Essentially, you wanna get to a comfortable position where you can really let go. Really find that encouragement, that release in your physical body as much as possible, okay? So if that means taking your device to a nearby couch or bed, you can do that too. The benefits of doing this at home. And when you're comfortable, when you're settled, I want you to close your eyes and come back to that pause breath. So encouraging big abundant cycle in, pausing at the top for 2 seconds, and then riding that exhale out, all the way out. Pause for 2 seconds. Stay with that breath. Notice if your mind starts to wander. It's very normal after a few seconds of quietude for your mind to start to wander, to taking you away from anywhere but now in the present, thinking about the past or the future, thinking about all the multitude of responsibilities, all the stuff that is anywhere but now. So as that happens, notice those thoughts. Notice where your mind took you, what it is that it's choosing to focus on. Watch that thought come and then watch it go. Refocus back in on your breath, on that pause breath, staying there with your breath as long as you can, and just continuing that cycle. Notice the thought, let it go, refocus. Start to deepen your breath. Find those little micro movements in your limbs, in your head, moving it from side to side. And ever so slowly rolling your way onto your side. And from there, pressing your palms into the mat, ragdoll your way up, up, up into your tall seat, keeping your focus inward, keeping your eyes closed if you can. Thank you so much for sharing and joining me here today. The light in me honors and bows to the light in you. Namaste.